So I'm in early world history underneath Miss Oster's class. All right. March and April work, don't worry about that. We're going to kind of skip over that. We're going to go towards ancient Rome. That's the current topic that you need to be focused in on. And if you look, the very first one is like a chain link, and it's talking about living in Rome. This is going to be a video that may not load in the first screen. So if you come up here where you can see living in Rome and it's got that little arrow that points out, it's going to bring it into a separate video or window for you. So you're going to watch the YouTube video that plays. It's going to talk about Rome and all the different things about living there. We don't care about that part. So once the video is complete, you're going to go back to your canvas. You might still be in this kind of view, so you can click home and scroll back down to ancient Rome. You've already watched the video. Now you can answer the questions that go along with the video. It's a quiz. There's no time limit. There's 32 questions that are on here, so take your time going through and reading them, okay? Going back to home. Once you have watched the video, answered the questions that are a quiz, you are now able to go on to the daily life in Rome. Again, this is going to be another video, but it may not upload in the window for Canvas. So if we open it to a separate window, it's going to pop up. Loading, loading, loading. This one's just a mini article, it looks like. Roman daily life. Daily life in ancient Rome often began with a light breakfast. Bread and water or wine would be served at home, or a wheat pancake could have been purchased on the way to school. Sometimes meat, fish, fruit, and other items may have been served, but not each day. Got some pictures. Men and boys wore togas, and then later tunics, which were slightly larger than a shirt typically worn today. Women and girls also wore tunics. However, these reached their ankles and tied near the waist. At home, while many girls stayed home with their mothers to take care of the home, some girls were allowed to attend schools with the boys. Schools often consisted of only one room and might have resembled a small Roman shop, like a bakery. School. Schoolmasters or teachers were often strict, especially those who followed the words of Aristotle, who once said, "Young people are not playing when they are learning." Education was taken very seriously in those schoolhouses. Students studied many of the same subjects learned in school today. In school, math was difficult, as 6 Roman letters were used to create all numbers. Students also learned how to speak, how to write, how to tell time, how to use and count money. They had other lessons designed to help them in everyday life. Weights and measurements, history, philosophy, and public speaking were also taught amongst the other subjects. Household chores. While the kids were in school and the mothers and daughters tended to the household chores, the fathers spent a few hours working each day. Below are some of the typical jobs: farming, baking, building, selling and trading goods, making clothing. Some became doctors, lawyers, writers, or teachers. Many others joined the military, which provided a decent salary for men supporting a family. Unlike today, though, most men worked 6 hours or fewer each day, usually stopping around midday. Midday is like noon. Roman baths. After work and school ended each day, most men and boys headed to the baths, which required only a very small fee to enter. Here people gathered, not only to wash, but also to sit and talk among friends. The bathhouses usually included gardens, gymnasiums, libraries, and other forms of recreation. A typical cold bath resembled something like a swimming pool, while other rooms were available for hot baths, like a hot tub. Dinner time. After spending some time at the baths, most would head home for their biggest meal of the day, eaten somewhere between our lunchtime and dinner time. The meal usually consisted of wheatmeal porridge. When hosting a dinner party or celebrating a special occasion, though, a Roman dinner could consist of as many as 6 or 7 courses. In addition to salads, eggs, garden vegetables, and fresh breads, a variety of Mediterranean seafood would have been available, including some mackerel, mullets, eels, and oysters. Meat dishes consisted of lambs, pig, chicken, geese, ducks, and even peacocks, among others. For desserts, they ate fruit and honey-sweetened cakes. Environment. Romans valued their leisure time. That's time spent relaxing. Following dinner, adults and children would be able to pursue other interests, such as music, art, dancing, reading, and sports. Many attended plays, while others enjoyed chariot races. There were many options for entertainment. Gladiator fights, for example, also drew large crowds. Many Romans spent their time in gardens and fields, assuring their families of fresh foods. Children helped and would often use this time to learn about both family and Roman history from their parents. Religion. Religion was a big part of daily Roman life. Although some families did not visit temples often, many had small shrines in the home dedicated to specific gods and goddesses. Like the Greeks, early Romans believed the gods and goddesses lived on top of Mount Olympus. Families would pray to these gods to ask for protection and guidance. Nighttime. At night, Romans used lamps that burned olive oil. Most families could afford to burn just one lamp, which provided only a fraction of the light from one of our electric bulbs. Most Romans went to bed early, leaving them able to rise early in the morning to begin a new day. So again, this is the Roman daily life in a Roman city. So once you're finished reading that article, you'd go back to your Canvas course for Miss Oster's class, and you'd go to your home, and you have just read the third link, Daily Life in Rome. This now allows you to answer life in Rome versus life today. Nice thing about this is you can click on the link right here, and it will open up a separate Microsoft Word document that you can type into. Or if you are not able to do that and you're working off your phone, write this on a piece of paper. Things that are the same. You're thinking about that article you just read, thinking about the video you watched, and you're listing 3 things that happen life in Rome that is also life today. Okay? Think about education, schooling, what is it that they have in common? Then you're going to think of 3 things that are different. 3 things that is different from what Rome did to what we did. Once you have that, you are either loading your assignment by submitting it. You can come here and type it up. You can take a picture of it and load that. You can also send an inbox message to Miss Oster by clicking on that little compose a new message spot. Go to Miss Oster's class. Do teacher with Miss Oster. And then you can say Life in Rome assignment. And you can either type it up here, ask her a question, or you can attach it as well. So if you're on your cell phone, this would be where a box would pop up and you can put in a picture. If you're on your computer and you used her Word document, you could find the Word document. All of those are options, okay? But if you are having issues trying to figure out how to get that assignment to Miss Oster, reach out to her. And for right now, I would say that is where you can start with Miss Oster's class. So far, I have walked you through the video, the quiz, the article, and then the writing prompt.